Hi, my name is Sandra Jones, and I am the co-director of the Plymouth Renewable Energy Initiative. And I'm here to thank the Plymouth community for supporting the efforts and initiatives of PAREI. We could not be where we are without the interest of everyone in this community who supports renewable energy, energy efficiency, energy conservation, wants to lower their carbon footprint, wants to buy local food, wants to support others in doing the same. So I'm here to thank you, and it's been an amazing ride, and hopefully it will continue for years to come. PAREI was started in 2003, which is amazing how long ago that seems. It was actually officially started in 2004, primarily by Plymouth State alumni. We had about 25 founding members, and we were concerned about the rapid use of fossil fuels and what that was doing to our environment and our economy and our global stability. So it's amazing how that first year has grown into 13, 14 years of activity. And our biggest claim to fame is our solar energy raiser, where volunteers came together to put solar water heating systems on many homes and buildings around the Plymouth area. And that model was duplicated throughout the state. In addition to that, we've done a number of other things. We run our Button Up New Hampshire workshops statewide, and we've trained contractors to learn more about weatherizing homes. You name it, PAREI has stepped up to the plate to make it happen if our community has needed it. Two other initiatives I want to talk about is Local Foods Plymouth. In 2006, we partnered with D-Acres to start a very important program that brings local foods to our community. And it was started because we want to reduce the amount of miles food travels from farm to plate. And we want to make it easy for local people to buy food from local agricultural producers. So in 2006, we started this program, and it's still going today in 2017. Check out localfoodsplymouth.org. There's new farmers, there's new products. You buy it Saturday, or you go online and you buy your products from Saturday through Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. and then at 3:30 to 5:30, you pick up your foods at the Plymouth Renewable Energy Initiative office. It's a wonderful way to reduce your energy consumption through the foods that you eat. And another project we have going on, I'm going to change hats here at the moment, New Hampshire Solar Shares. New Hampshire Solar Shares is our newest initiative. We are in partnership with the New Hampshire Electric Co-op, where we are going to be building solar PV arrays where the value of the solar electricity is going to benefit low-income families in our community. The Common Man family of restaurants has donated space behind Frosty Scoop's ice cream stand to be our first community solar PV array. It's a small array. It'll look nice. It's going to shade some of the picnic tables there. And the value of that electricity will go to help low-income families meet their utility bills and also benefit from the cost savings and environmental benefits of solar energy. So New Hampshire Solar Shares is our newest initiative. Please check out newhampshiresolarshares.org. We're looking for the community to support this as business sponsors, as individual donors, and as volunteers. So check out plymouthenergy.org, localfoodsplymouth.org, newhampshiresolarshares.org. Check out what you, Plymouth community, have helped us make happen. Thank you, happy Thanksgiving, and Merry Christmas.
Jules, I really do appreciate you allowing D-Acres to help get the word out. My name's Josh Trott. I'm the director up at D-Acres, and I'm here today with Maureen.
Yes, Maureen Rowe, and I'm the new program coordinator, doing a lot of things. Hostel manager, youth programming, which we'll talk about in a little bit, a new initiative at D-Acres. I'm very happy to be here as well. Second time now on PBTV, so I'm excited to be here. I've got a lot of new things going on at D-Acres, and a lot of the things that we've been doing, that Josh has been doing for many, many years.
But anyway, the idea is that in the 21st year, lots of people really don't even know what D-Acres is all about, particularly if you haven't visited in the last 5 years. We've seen a lot of growth over the 21 years and a lot of change and evolution. But the basics of what D-Acres is a service organization that supports food, health and happiness,
Healthy
and,
living styles.
A good life.
Good life.
So the economy is a part of that too.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of food, I mean, well, we're having a maturing forest garden up there. So and this year we had a lot of maturation of the perennial fruit trees, like the peaches. The crop on the peaches was huge. We also got a lot of black walnuts.
And apples.
Apples galore.
Pears.
Pears, yep. So we were seeing that sort of process taking place, that maturation. So you can come up and see the beautiful trees and whatnot. But the food to us is also these community food events. So pretty much every weekend there's a community food event. On the first Sunday there's a breakfast. On the second Friday there's pizza and a movie night. And on the last Friday of the month there's open mic and potluck. So all these events are open to the public. We really encourage you to attend. And the focus is on food and community. The pizza night and the breakfast, we accept a sliding scale donation of $5 to $15, but come as you are. We really encourage people just to attend and experience the farm and getting that connection going, because you come to breakfast and
where all the ingredients come from. So we yes, we grow our own food, our own gardens like Josh mentioned, but we get local syrup from our breakfast and organic ingredients, and just getting the word out why it's important to have local foods. Where does it come from?
Yeah, so a lot is getting grown right on site, and then we also have these workshops specifically for like skills building.
Yes.
There's canning workshops. This weekend coming up is a nose to tail, where we take a pig, we raise pigs, and we honor the pig by processing every part of it. It's nose to tail, so we're trying to use every bit of this pig like they did in the old days. Remember like indigenous people, how we all respected them, how they harvested like a bison and used every part of it. Well, we can still do that. It's just we've lost a lot of these skills. Like, who in the room really knows how to make like charcuterie or smoke their own bacon, or all these skills, head cheese,
or where does it come from?
Yeah,
the pig. But part of the pig is the bacon, but part of the pig, and to educate on the community as well as ourselves, and to kind of create that.
So
effect.
This weekend, we usually have, this is the 4th year we've done it. We usually have it in October or November. Over 3 days, we're going to kill a pig, and then we're going to render it and use all the parts. And then on Sunday, we're having
a taste test of the pork from 4 to 6 p.m. open to the public. We do ask for a suggested donation of $15. Again, we like to honor the pig and celebrate where food comes from, and also be some homemade local sides and desserts to complement on the pork as well.
There'll be vegetables, trust me.
Lots of vegetables. And then we're also doing a rabbit harvest during that same weekend, and so we'll be doing a taste test of the rabbit harvest. So that's Sunday from 4 to 6. And just give us a call or email and come on by and celebrate the pig and where the food system comes from, and why that is important.
And let's just be clear, we really encourage a very balanced diet here, and the meat is really all about the flavor. And where you get your robust diet is from the vegetables and the nuts and so forth that you can grow. But yeah, we eat a very veggie-rich diet up there. It's not like we're just sitting up there
like eating
pig. But it is about building that strong diet, and I think we really encourage people getting to know that from early on. So that's why D Acres is also trying to get involved more in the with young people in the public schools.
Yeah,
that's one of Mo's main focuses.
And so I was hired on in April, and I was had the pleasure to go to Plymouth Fair Share pretty much the first 2 or 3 weeks of me in the position, and now I'm much more comfortable, but with a focus on youth education, so from kindergarten and hopefully all the way up to college students. We've done a school garden, we've brought chickens to school, we've got a Adopt a Chicken program that we raised chickens at D Acres for 6 weeks and welcomed the families to adopt no charge. They're between 3 and 5 baby chicks, and we just educating the students where the chickens.
We gave 100 chickens last spring to 3rd and 4th graders.
Yes.
They were happy.
They came with their boxes and be like, "That's not the right box, but you can take this," and just following up the family. So that's happening in the Upper Valley region, and hopefully kind of learn from that as we expand our reach into the Pemi Baker region with Farm to School, and just why it's important to raise animals, why it's important to raise chickens, the eggs coming from, and the responsibility and just all the plethora of opportunity the kids can have from just raising a chicken. We did bring chickens to school for 1 week in a chicken tractor, and the principal and the school were so excited they wanted me to come back with the chickens. So I drove back and forth for 2 weeks with chickens in the car.
One of the things we're also gearing up towards is this conversation about D Acres food, health and happiness, a strong, robust economy. I guess with the health and happiness, I'm really feeling like it's got to get outdoors. I read a statistic today that we as Americans spend 93% of our lives indoors. I think that's pretty scary considering, you know, a couple hundred years ago we were outside most of the time. So now we really have to face this as a community and figure out ways to embrace nature and get reconnected. I feel strongly that these programs that we have on at D Acres are making that happen. In Canaan, they actually have a little spot on 5 acres on their campus that we're looking to develop a trail system so the kids can really interact, and we've been influential in helping create an outdoor classroom. But on our site, we're working on trails as well, and we're doing a lot of mountain biking trails. So these trails are designed specifically for mountain biking, but they're also super accessible for skiing or snowshoeing or hiking, and they're designed to be accessible as mountain bike trails. I think lots of people have had experiences mountain biking where maybe they've gone and it was a rough time. You know, they ran into some roots and rocks and came out with bumps and bruises. And so what we want to do is develop a trail system that's almost like a sidewalk through the woods. And so it's a machine-built trail. We got a mini excavator in the woods up there and built about 4,000 linear feet of trail system so far. And we're connecting up with another landowner, and there's just miles and miles of trails that are accessible in Dorchester now. And the idea is to develop this region, the whole Rumney, Pemi, Baker region, as a destination for recreation. You know, add the rock climbing that's available in Rumney to the hiking at Moosalok, to this cross-country ski and bike network, and you really got a world-class recreational mecca. And so we're going to start pushing that hard at D Acres, and one of the ways we're going to push that is developing print media that really highlights that. So there's going to be a map as well as a book format guide to the region, so people can walk into, you know, Biederman's or Chase Street or somewhere downtown, come into the library here and pick up a map that tells you where to go. Where's the world-class rock climbing? Where's the hiking? Where's the biking? So we can really start to highlight this, so not only the people at Plymouth State and the residents, you know, us that want to enjoy this, but also make it a destination so more people are coming in and spending money in our community and also having a really good time in the outdoors. Because something we're rich in this area is the outdoors. And we should really be focusing on that natural resource and trying to preserve it and build it, build the infrastructure. So these trails are super important for this.
And the trails throughout the summer and into fall, we've had volunteer work days on the trails from a variety of different community members, from hostel guests that stayed with us, as well as Plymouth State students coming down, high school students coming down, and so it's really a community effort and collaboration of the expanding community of D Acres. Back to like the thanks theme, that all the work that we do at D Acres wouldn't be possible without the volunteers. I mean, that's just one exact example of that. A trail doesn't build itself. Yes, Josh himself spent many, probably more hours than you would think on the trails just on this summer. But as we grow, there's been, I don't know, 50 to 100 volunteers this summer just on trails.
Oh yeah, at least. Yeah, no, I think what we're trying to encapsulate through 2 people in 15 minutes or whatnot is a much bigger picture. There's so many people involved in D Acres that we'd really like to thank, because I mean we really like the work we do and everything, but it's for the people and it's with the people, and so that's what we'd really like to celebrate and thanks is the community.
Oh yeah, the D Acres community, and then being part of the greater region community, whether it's the Plymouth region, or if it's Upper Valley region, or if it's the mountain bike region folks, or the rock climbing folks, it's all about collaboration and
diversity.
Diversity
And collaboration, cooperation really build our strength. And yeah, we have to thank all the people involved, as well as, we gotta thank the apples, we gotta thank the pigs, we gotta thank Mother Earth for everything she gives us every day. So on that note, thanks all for listening. I know that was a lot of words. Apologize for that.
Hi, my name's Tom. I work for Transport Central. I'm the coordinator. And we are an agency housed out of Whole Village in Plymouth. And we serve seniors and people with disabilities to medical appointments. Our drivers are all volunteers. They are state and federally accredited. They've all had background checks, and they use their own vehicles, which have to be inspected and insured with certain coverages, which Mike, as a driver, might know the coverages a little better.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more than liability, but it's not any more expensive than your regular insurance. I have full coverage on my car because I've still got payments. It more than covers any insurance requirements that are needed by Transport Central to be a volunteer driver.
We provide transportation, door-to-door service from the passenger's house, from their front door, to the hospital's door. The drivers wait, or if it's going to be a long appointment, they might run to the store or do some errands. They give the passenger their phone number, their cell phone number, and the passenger or somebody at the medical facility can call the driver, and the driver would be there within a few minutes, 5-10 minutes. And we do service we service the 19 surrounding towns of Plymouth, roughly from Holderness to Dorchester, and north from Lincoln, south down to Bristol. We only do medical facilities, but we travel to any medical facility in the state of New Hampshire. We also work in conjunction with the VA systems, White River Junction in Vermont, Manchester VA, Tilton VA, and also provide a lot of transportation for the local medical facilities and senior centers. Our demographic of people in the area is growing tremendously. The senior population is the largest growing population. So we've got a lot of demand looking towards the future for more transportation needs, and thus needing more drivers. And it's a great thing to do for your community. It's something to do so if you get bored, you can pick your time when you want to do it. There's no set schedule. You can look at a schedule and see what you have for time in your personal life, and then you also get reimbursed at a state and federal rate, which is 53.5 cents a mile, and that is a reimbursement, so it doesn't affect any kind of services or disability or Social Security. Anybody is eligible that has a New Hampshire driver's license, the correct insurance, and then obviously when we do a background check, we do a background check through the Bureau of Elderly and Adult Services and through the DMV, and we also do a drug test, and if all those are passed, then you're eligible.
That's for our volunteer drivers. I think the question you were just asking was the clientele that we service are people 60 plus and disabled. There are some exceptions to that. That would be something more Tom would be able to talk through with people at a later date. We're here to help those people that can't get to their doctor's appointments. The population has been growing dramatically. We have a shortage of drivers. We're looking for more volunteers is what we're doing, because we need to get people to their appointments. If they can't get to it, they can't remain healthy. They can't maintain their healthy way of life.
Our requirements are for medical appointments only. So, which I think I had said earlier, probably better than I just said it, but it is, we do just do medical appointments, which can be range anywhere from going to Dartmouth for cancer treatments to going to physical therapy locally due to an injury. If anybody has any questions, feel free to call me at 1-855-654-3200 and please leave a message.
And for those people looking to get a ride, they call the same number. We ask for 3 days advance notice of their appointment. That way we can get a driver scheduled for them. Unfortunately, unless we get more drivers, we do have, on occasion, have had to turn people away and they've had to find other means of transportation. We don't like doing that. We ask for more people to call in and volunteer some of their time and make it so we can meet new people. We just want to help.
Greetings, my name is Jess Dutel and I'm a board member with the Pemi Youth Center.
And I'm Sam Demond, the Executive Director of the Pemi Youth Center.
We want to extend our sincere gratitude to our community members who support our local youth throughout the year.
The Pemi Youth Center is an empowerment program for youth ages 10 to 17. We operate 2:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday throughout the entire school year and school vacations. We provide a number of enriching activities for our youth after school, and all of it is provided at no cost to the youth or their families.
It truly does take a village to raise a child, and so we thank you for your continued support. Have a corn.
Right.
Now they said, oh, Dad. They say, oh, Dad.
Hi, I'm Mike Carrier.
I'm Sarah Holland.
I'm Ken Evans.
And we're members of the Plymouth Rotary Club. We meet every Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock at the Common Man Inn. We'd love to see any of you come by to find out a little bit more about who we are, but we're going to take some time during this presentation to let you know a little bit about who we are as a club and actually what we are tied in with other clubs all over the world as Rotary International. Plymouth is one of 35,000 Rotary clubs spread across the 200 countries and geographic regions of the world. And we're made up of people pretty much like us, neighbors and friends and community leaders and business people who come together to work on solving problems in their local community and addressing major human needs around the world. We do that in a variety of ways. But the main way we're able, the muscle we get here in Plymouth is because of the community that we live in and the great support that we have. Sarah, big event just recently.
Absolutely. We just had our penny sale event, which is our largest fundraiser of the year. It's held on the first Saturday in November every year. And what we do is we end up raising quite a bit of money for our local kids, right? Our youth, which is one of our areas of service. And this year we raised almost $18,000 for our scholarship program. And that goes to assist kids in a traditional four-year degree as well as technical. So it's a great event. It's a community event. We've been doing it for 67 years now. Yeah. So folks have come to expect it, and we want to thank all of you who attended, all of you who donated, and hope to see you guys again next year, and we really appreciate your support.
Yeah, one of the things that that money helps us do, as Sarah said, was help support our kids. And one of the things we were able to do this past year, which was really wonderful from our point of view as Rotarians, was to create a new scholarship in honor of Skip Van Sickle, who was, many of you may know Skip. He was everywhere in the community, just a guy who gave and gave and gave to his neighbors. And we created a special technical scholarship in his name and sent our first student this past year to do aviation training. And we're really happy we were able to do that because of the generous support of the community. One of the other things that you guys may be aware of, because you see the articles in the newspaper and perhaps through programs through this medium, is the various youth-oriented things that happen here in the greater Plymouth area. The Circle program is one of the programs that we really support as a Rotary Club. The Mayhew group down in the Newfound area working with young boys. The skate park we helped to form and build way back when. The amphitheater that you see down by the river, which is made, which the whole community makes use of in so many different ways, was spearheaded by Rotary as well. So we feel very committed, attached to this community, and none of that would happen without the support that you all give us. Ken helped to spearhead a new project some years ago that has really morphed into its own thing. Ken, talk about Friends of the Pemi.
We're very proud of our involvement with what we call Friends of the Pemi Livermore Falls chapter. About 5 years ago, we were approached by members of the community and government entities to become the coordinating sponsor because of our deep service that we provide to the communities. They came to us and said, will you organize and be the administrator for this group? And what we did was turn our attention to address the problems we were experiencing up at Livermore Falls, which is, by the way, from where we stand today is 1.9 miles from downtown up Route 3 on both sides of the river. It was kind of a mess. It had been unsupervised by the state. We worked with the state to get it to become a state forest. We meet every 6 or 8 weeks with members of the state, other interested community supporters, to work on the development of that park. And in just a short, feels like longer, but in just a short 4.5 years, we have transformed that area into a family-friendly, recreational and educational place where people seek out from all over the country come to visit the falls. It's a unique combination of environment, of geology, of recreation, and his history. It was one of the first settlements anywhere in this area when commerce began to come to this area in the early 1800s. In fact, the last 3 years we've been doing archaeological digs down at the river to uncover the various buildings and work units, grist mills, homes that were there that are now all gone, either washed away in floods or burned down at various points along the way. It's just a very interesting place. I want to thank all of the volunteers. We literally spend thousands of hours each year and have done that, as I said, for nearly 5 years. I want to thank all those volunteers, the people at the state Division of Cultural and Historical Resources, who've been incredibly enthusiastic about our support. The various people who've donated money to us. It's just been a neat project that we're all very proud of. In fact, the group was awarded just this last week a Spirit of New Hampshire award in the group division for its work over many years. So we have a lot to be thankful for what we've done, and we have a lot more to do.
And it just speaks to the fact that anything that we're really able to accomplish as a local organization, or in our case also tied in to an international organization, because people come together, link hands, and make things happen. I just want to briefly comment on the international project that many of you may be aware of because you've seen ads in magazines and other things about our effort to rid the world of polio. Since 1988, we've joined with the World Health Organization, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to attack polio. And this year, at a recent meeting we were attending, someone reported that we've had just our 12th case of polio reported in the entire world. We're working to eliminate the entire world of this disease which many of us when we were young can remember was a threat, and we're just this close. And again, it's because people rally, get behind us, and give of their time and their resources to make it happen. If you've been tied into this program in any way, again, thank you for that effort. Sarah's our incoming president this coming year.
I am.
Any kind of closing words that you might like to share about what we might be up to as a club?
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep going with our traditional Rotary events. The penny sale, the hometown holiday parade is coming up. We always love caroling at the Pemi Youth Center. Anything that that gets us out there and gets us involved, we're happy to participate in. We're going to continue with our international projects on the larger scale with polio, but we also have a group that's going to the Dominican Republic to deliver some wheelchairs. And then, we really just want you guys to come and see us.
Yeah.
Come and learn about what we do and who we are. We're faces that you see every day. So don't be shy. Definitely come in.
Stop us on the street.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we get questions all the time. What is Rotary? And we're happy to talk about it. And we're not going to wrangle you to join the club. We just want you to be educated on what it is that we do. And if you want to join, that's great. But we meet on Wednesday mornings at 7 a.m. at the Common Man in Plymouth. And we have a great round of speakers that come in and share their experiences, whether it's a local business person or it's youth. We have youth come in and share their experiences, folks that we've given scholarships to and whatnot come back and talk. Go to our website, which is going to be listed as well, which is PlymouthNHRotary.org, and our list of speakers is on there, and please just come and visit.
We're also on Facebook, so you can find us there as well.
Yes, we stream our meetings
and we
live.
stream the meetings.
Yeah, so if you can't be there for 7 a.m., you can watch it at 9 p.m. No worries.
One of our mottos is doing good in the world. And if you'd like to help us do good in our piece of the world, as well as on an international basis, we'd love to have you come. It's the most rewarding thing I've done in many years.
Absolutely.
Happy to have you.
Yeah. Thank you all, again, all of our sponsors, all of our participants, all our community members and volunteers for all that you do to help us do what we do.
Hi, I'm Meg Kennedy Dugan, and I'm the Executive Director of Voices Against Violence.
I'm Christina Mason, and I am a member of the Board of Directors for the Voices Against Violence.
We're here to tell you a little bit about Voices. Voices has been part of your community for over 35 years. We're your local crisis center that works with victims of domestic and sexual violence, stalking, and human trafficking. Every year, we work with thousands of people to help them lead lives free from violence and abuse. Currently, we work with over 100 individuals per month. And these range from everyone from somebody who is having to escape a very violent household, to somebody who has experienced sexual assault, to somebody who needs some support around concerns around a family member. We also work a lot with local law enforcement, the court systems, the hospitals, and local educational facilities. We provide a 24-hour hotline. We use the tagline, you don't have to be in crisis to call, because we want to be sure that people know they can reach out to us, whether it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday afternoon, to get the support they need. We also run a confidential shelter for people who are fleeing from domestic violence and are in fear for their lives. We also provide one-on-one support for people, both on the phone and also in person. We are called down to the court multiple times per day to assist people who are going for restraining orders. And we're also called up to the hospital whenever they have somebody who is the victim of sexual assault or domestic violence. Every year we also provide over 4,000 people education and outreach into the community within the 18 towns that we serve. And Christina, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about the volunteering that people can do with Voices.
Absolutely. That's actually how I started out. I was going to volunteer and went through the training, and eventually wound up as a member of the board of directors. There are all sorts of opportunities for people to get involved with Voices. You might be someone at the other end of the phone when someone has to place a phone call. You might be a member of the board of directors, as I am, and help promote the organization, raise money for the organization, get support within the community. And again, it's not just Plymouth, it's Lower Grafton County. So we serve a lot of different communities. Speaking of that, we have a fundraiser coming up in February. It's the 10th. It's a ball. It's going to be at the Common Man here in Plymouth. And it's a superheroes ball, except you don't have to wear a cape to be a superhero. There's dinner, there's dancing, there's a silent auction and a live auction. It's a great, great evening. The proceeds go to Voices to help promote and do all of these jobs that Meg has been telling you about. And I have to add one more statistic. A year ago, Voices was servicing 700 people a year. This year, as Meg said, it's over 100 people a month. That's 1,200 individuals. That's a huge increase. And so if you think that domestic and sexual violence is not something that you need to be concerned with, think again. Meg?
It's very sad because it seems as though every day in the news we hear things about mass shootings that go on or about the opioid crisis, all kinds of things that are happening in our communities across the country. And sadly, a lot of these things come back to issues around trauma, whether that's trauma people experience as children, domestic violence, those sorts of issues. So we really try to work at the root of the problem and to be able to assist people to be able to make a difference. Christina talked about funding for Voices. We do receive federal and state funding, some county and town funding, but we rely on all of you to support us as well. Christina had mentioned that our numbers are higher than they had been at times in the past, and we're doing that with fewer staff because of a reduction in funding that we have. So again, we really count on everybody within our community to reach out to us to find out a little bit more about Voices and find out if maybe this is a good match for you with the philanthropic dollars that you have, to know more about us. We always encourage people to give us a call, to set up a time with myself or a board member to talk a little bit more about how you might be able to get involved with Voices Against Violence. And we really want to thank members of the community, local businesses, other organizations that have been so helpful to Voices. We would not exist if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you so much.
And if you'd like to know an easy way to find us, go to Facebook. Our Facebook page has all the information you can possibly want. And you know, there are a lot of different ways to get involved with this organization. Last year, I was part of a cast of the Vagina Monologues right here in Plymouth at the Congregational Church. That was one way to raise money, and we had a good time. There's also going to be another Dancing with the Community Stars in April. Some Sunday in April, we're not quite sure when, but we offer a lot of different opportunities for people. If you're looking for something and you want to make a difference, this is the organization to help.
So thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Tim Tyler and I'm here with
Jim Kimmer.
And we're from CADY, and CADY stands for Communities for Alcohol and Drug-Free Youth. And we're involved in the running of the CADY Restorative Justice Program. So you might ask, what is the CADY Restorative Justice Program? So what we're going to do is give you a little information about it, including the history of how it came about. You have to go back 10 years, or a little over 10 years, to 2006, when in the Plymouth area there was no alternative sentencing program for youth. The Pemi Baker Youth and Family Services program had shut down, and so there was an effort that was started to try to replace that program with a youth diversion and alternative sentencing program. That effort was started by a local faith-based organization with the Plymouth District Court, and CADY, under the direction of Deb Narrow, piloted the new program. The program has been in existence now since 2007, 10 years. They celebrated their 10th birthday this spring with a special event over at the Common Man Inn. Program does serve 3 regions within southern Grafton County: the Pemi-Baker region, the Linwood region, and the Newfound region. It's one of 3 programs in Grafton County. There's a program up in the Haverhill-Littleton area, and one also over in Lebanon, and there are 18 programs throughout the state. What our program does is it basically services youth between the ages of 12 and 18. We have taken a few kids under age 12. We generally max out with high school seniors. And we basically, what it does is addresses youth who've had nonviolent offenses. It gives the local police departments and the court system a chance to send kids through this program as opposed to going into the court system. Our program is certified by the state of New Hampshire. We got that certification in 2011, have been certified or recertified twice since that time. Just to give you a general idea of some of the things that have been accomplished with our program, over $13,000 of restitution has been paid to victims. We had situations like shoplifting, theft, vandalism, and victims have got reimbursed for some of those damages. Our youth have participated in over 4,500 hours of community service with many local nonprofits, including organizations such as the Pemi Youth Center, Plymouth Area Renewable Energy, the Lincoln Recreation Department, Tapley Thompson Center in Bristol. I could go on, but they've donated anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 hours of community service with that. We basically work with 190 youth since we started back in 2007, and our recidivism rate, which we're very proud of, is 85%, one of the best in the state. That means that 85% of our youth do not reoffend after participating in this program. So that's a little information about the history and the program itself, but Jim's going to get into more specifics. So Jim, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Tim. The basic premise of the Restorative Justice Program is, again, it's a court diversion program like Tim just mentioned. And essentially we get our referrals either from school districts, from police departments, or from the courts themselves. Once we get those referrals, we have an intake process to make sure that it's a good fit for us as well as the youngster. Because it is tied and connected with CADY, there's a lot of, every student that comes through our program, or every youngster, gets both a heavy dose of drug and alcohol education along with that. Again, the premise is that once a crime has been committed, there's been an offense to the relationships between the offender and that victim. It could be the victim, or it could be a store. It could be personal property through vandalism or something like that. But there's an offender and a victim, but there's also a breakdown of those relationships between the offender and their parents, family members, friends, and certainly the community. So the first thing upon the intake is the offender has to take total responsibility for their actions, and has to admit to what they did and how that has broken down those relationships between those other stakeholders. We then establish a panel, and we're very grateful for our panel members. They are all members from our community. They do this strictly on a volunteer basis, but they essentially come in and represent their feelings about whatever that child has committed in terms of an offense. They come in and they speak from the community's behalf of how that has affected their relationship with the community in which they live in. We then establish a panel meeting. We sit down, we meet, and between parents, the offender, if the victim wants to participate, or sometimes we have a victim advocate that will sit in their place, and the panel of the community members, we establish a restorative agreement. It could involve apology letters. It could involve restitution. Financial restitution, community service. We do try to tap into the specific likes and areas of interest of the offender, so therefore whatever they're doing is relevant. And at the end of that, we sign off on that. Everyone agrees that that would be good restitution for whatever the offense might have been. And several months later, hopefully all well, we get to the end of the process, we reconvene the panel, a certificate is drawn up, and at the very end we contact back to the referring agency, whether it's a school, police department, or the courts, and so they have completed their responsibilities. And at that point, hopefully they move forward and have a clean slate, no criminal record, and they move forward with their lives. So that's it pretty much in a nutshell.
The program, as I said, has been in existence for approximately 10 years. And over those years, there have been a number of different kids have gone through the program. And what I've seen as a common situation is oftentimes kids make mistakes because they just haven't thought things out. Teenagers tend to do that. But some of the comments they've made, either during the program or at the completion of the program, are kind of special. So I had 3 statements I can remember kids made at the end of their programs, and these youth, you know, had been successful in the program. One is from a 14-year-old female who had a shoplifting offense, and she got involved in doing some activities at Whole Village with a nutrition program, connected very well with the person running that program, and she made the statement to me at the end, "I did not know from something so bad, something so good could happen." She just felt good about how it finished. Had another young man, had a marijuana charge, came in his initial meeting with his mom, very nervous, feet are shaking, just extremely nervous, was not proud of what happened, didn't want his school to know, didn't want anyone to know. And after we completed kind of our pre-intake meeting, his statement to me was, "I really thought you were going to be a badass kind of guy, but you're actually pretty nice. I think I can talk to you." And we had a lot of talks after that, and he completed the program successfully. As a matter of fact, he connected so well with one of our panel members that he bought a piece of his gym floor from his school because they're replacing the floor, attached a keychain to it, and gave it to her as a gift in thanking her for being supportive to him. And one of the other kids, we had a younger young man, he was completing his program, and I had told him I was really proud of him, he'd done a great job. And he sat there and said, "I don't want to complete this program. You're the only adult to ever spend any time with me." So he just wanted to keep on in the program because he felt he had some connections. We connected him to sports, we connected him to organizations, and it worked really well with him. So a lot of cases, it's just a case of kids and making the right connections and giving them the right supports. What I wanted to do was also indicate that CADY has a number of other programs that we offer youth, and it's not just restorative justice. We have the Launch Program. The Launch Program, if you're familiar with Frosty Scoops over by the Common Man Inn, our youth run that program. That program got recognized on the White House website as being very successful. It's kind of an entrepreneurial kind of program. The kids meet during the school year and learn about how to run a business, and then actually work at Frosty Scoops during the summer to run that business. We also have the YAC, which is a youth leadership program. They actually go out and present on topics relating to prevention, drug and alcohol education. They presented to the New Hampshire State Senate, and in the last presidential election they did 2 presentations at CADY to 2 presidential candidates. They presented to Carly Fararina, and they also presented to John Kasich. So they're a group that forms leadership and has been very successful as well. So if you're really interested in the programs that CADY has to offer, you can go to our website, www.cadyinc.org, and you can see the number of different activities that CADY's involved in. We're a little building on Highland Street, but we do an awful lot of stuff. So I guess with Jim and myself,
I would say also in conclusion, as you mentioned, we are a community-based program, and we rely extremely heavily upon the volunteers. We're a nonprofit organization, so again, we run an annual yard sale, which helps finance the program, and we go through donations and other means of support. But we really, really appreciate and are very thankful for all those people who work on the panels as volunteers and serve in that capacity. So again, thank you to all those people that support our program in whatever capacity. So, yep.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Bye.